out Final Cut Pro 7 and show you Sapphire Edge and Final Cut Pro 10, because in 2017, when everyone has gone over to Final Cut Pro 10, we're going to be proud to be supporting it. I'm just kidding. We actually were one of the first developers working on FX Plug 2, which I can talk about a little bit. Michael wanted me to mention. So we do have Sapphire Edge supported inside of Final Cut Pro X. I'll wait for it to load and then show you that as well. And as Mike was saying at the beginning, Sapphire Edge is quite affordably priced. It's $299 for the package, and that includes the one-year subscription to FX Central, so you're getting all the new looks on an ongoing basis. If you compare that to the full Sapphire suite for Final Cut Pro, that's $1,700. So it's certainly a package we think is really streamlined and built towards editors working inside of Final Cut Pro, and affordably priced as well. So let's see if X here wants to load. Yes?
All of the same filters and transitions in the version 10 are the same as 7?
Yes, absolutely. It's the same package, and it's one installer, one license, works with both. You have a question?
What about After Effects?
No, right now, the only thing we support with Sapphire Edge is Final Cut Pro and Sony Vegas for Windows.
What's your subscription?
It's free when you buy the product. It's a $99 sort of value, but when you buy Sapphire Edge, you get that one-year subscription for free. So the way Sapphire Edge works inside of Final Cut Pro 10 is a little bit different, just based on the interface of Final Cut Pro 10. But you can see I've got the same timeline sequence here. And to go ahead and... Someone have a question? Okay. So to go ahead and look at the Sapphire Edge filters here, I'm first in my Video Filters tab. And you can see, again, I've got the 4 different Sapphire Edge filters, but again, the hundreds of looks. So I'll grab another sequence in my timeline here. And let's say I want to apply a film damage Sapphire Edge effect. I can go and click on that, and you can see actually right in the application, we have all the different presets. So if I go ahead and hold my mouse over this, it's actually going to give me a preview here. Give it a sec to refresh. How do I do that? Right. There we go. All right, so you can actually see, thank you for that. So you can see the preview of film damage here actually on the clip, and these are the various types of preset looks we have for film damage. So Fruit Smoothie is kind of a nice washed out one, so when I click on that, you'll see it applied to the clip. Same thing with Mismatch. And then if I want to go ahead and actually use one of these effects, Ghostly Glow, see it's got a bit more grain. I just double click on it. It's now applied that Sapphire Edge filter from film damage with the Ghostly Glow preset look to my clip, and then I have all my parameters. Again, the same parameters that are in Final Cut Pro 7 are in Final Cut Pro 10. So you've got controls for the grain amount, the stain density, hairs, and whatnot. But same idea where you're really working based on your looks, using that to select the look to your clip, and then adjusting parameters beyond that. So Sapphire Edge, again, functions the same way. You get the same results with the same looks inside of 10 as 7. And if I go to my video transitions, again, the same thing works here. I can go to any of my different Sapphire Edge transitions. The preview doesn't actually work between your A side and your B side here. It's usually working on a generic thumbnail instead, but I can get a preview of my different transitions here. And I can, actually, let's use Dissolve Edge Rays. I like that one. So you can see the different Edge Rays previews here. Selected. So you can see some of the different edge rays transitions. And I can go ahead and, if I like one transition, I can either double click or drag and drop it on my timeline, and it's going to go ahead and then render that transition out for my clip. So it should have actually already done that. Let's play it back. No, it's rendering here. Yeah, one thing I miss in Final Cut Pro 10 is the frame previewing. Everything just has to render. So we'll let that render, and then I'll just play it back so you can see the transition. All right, so there's one of the edge rays transitions. So transitions working inside of Final Cut Pro X as well. I should mention that I say we are supporting Final Cut Pro X. We still haven't made an official release. We've got pretty much an open beta, so anybody who purchases Sapphire Edge for Final Cut Pro 7 can use it in Final Cut Pro X, or anybody who's interested. If you do have Final Cut Pro X or you'd like to test it, although it sounds like there are not that many of you out there, you can see me afterwards, and I I can set you up with that. So we are on board on the Final Cut Pro 10 bandwagon. And as was mentioned during the Stump the Guru section, it's interesting what Apple's done with FX Plug 2. It's a completely new architecture. So we had to rewrite all of our plugins to be 64-bit only. And every single plugin now inside of Final Cut Pro comes from Motion as a Motion rig. So the idea is you write your plugins for FX Plug 2, they show up in Motion, and then you basically have to publish every single parameter and then save that off as an effect that shows up in Final Cut Pro. So what I think Apple is doing, it's allowing people to use either third-party plugins or the native tools in Motion, make their own set of effects. You can combine several effects, choose which parameters you want to hide versus which parameters you want to show. So say you could take a glow effect and a glint effect and maybe a distortion and put one master control over all of those and publish that off. So, I mean, I see it as Apple probably letting the users do all the work and letting them sell their plugins via the App Store, where Apple takes a percentage of that. That's sort of my guess is how Motion is set up as an authoring tool now. But again, that's the overview of Sapphire Edge. So it's priced $299. Works inside of Final Cut Pro 7 and the open beta here inside of Final Cut Pro X, as well as Sony Vegas if any of you have that product as well. You can go to our website, to genarts.com, if you want more information. I'll show you the brand new website we did. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can see me afterwards.
Well, we've got time. 5 minutes for questions.
Okay, any questions now? Yes.